Hello and welcome to our presentation, which is entitled Guidance for Complying with the State of Florida's Immunization Requirements. After reviewing this recorded video, we hope that you will gain the knowledge needed to confidently submit your medical and immunization documents to the USF Health Services and Wellness Center. The first step in the process is to gather all your vaccine records. Perhaps you have vaccination records from your childhood that look like the documents on the left side of the screen that I'm hovering over. If you do, then you may submit them directly to the USF Health and Wellness Center. However, please note that these documents must include the following information: your name and date of birth, also the contact information for the healthcare provider that created these documents, which must include street address, city and country, as well as the telephone number and country code. If your vaccine records do not include this information, you do have the option of using the USF medical and immunization form. It's going to look like this document on the right. If you use this document, we recommend that you bring your vaccine records with 2 or 3 medical history forms to your medical provider and ask that they fill this form out for you. You may have noticed that I recommended bringing 2 or 3 medical history forms to your medical provider. This is because USF will not accept any information on these documents that has been crossed out and corrected, as you see at the top and middle parts of the form here. USF will also not accept forms in which correction tape or fluid have been used. So if you bring extra copies of your medical history form to your medical provider, you will have the option to hand this person a brand new document if they should make a mistake and cross out and rewrite any information on this document. Starting at the top of the medical history form, this is one of the very few places where you, the student, will write information on this document. We recommend that you write this information because we know that you will not misspell your own name or write an incorrect birth date. If your medical provider should complete this part of the form and misspell your name, it is possible that USF Health Services will reject the entire document. USF only requires that you complete the top 2 lines, including your full name, your date of birth, which you can see here is written month, day, year, as well as your USF ID number. The bottom 2 lines are optional. Now, if you do fill out the bottom 2 lines, please make sure to use your USF email address. If you have a phone number based in the USA, then you can fill it out right here. Also, you would write the semester that you will be coming to USF. You can see that fall 2023, that's already passed. So you obviously wouldn't use that date for the incoming semester. All right. All US students are required to complete their measles, mumps, and rubella, or MMR, requirements. This can be completed in 2 ways, either by vaccines or a blood titer test. To complete the vaccine requirement, students must receive their first MMR vaccine on or after their first birthdays, meaning 365 days after a student was born. The second MMR vaccine would then need to be received 30 days or more after the first vaccine. If you are using the medical history form, your medical provider would simply write the month, day, year in these 2 boxes, preferably starting with the vaccine that was received first in the box to the left. Please remember that students must not fill in any medical or immunization-related information on this form. This information must be completed by a medical provider, and that can be a doctor, a nurse, a Ministry of Health staff member, or anybody authorized to complete this form at a medical facility. If students are unable to satisfy their MMR vaccine requirements, they do have the option to submit a blood titer lab report form within the last 5 years that shows immunity to rubella and the measles. Lab reports must include the student's full name and date of birth. Please note that the student's age may not be substituted for the date of birth. If the laboratory is unable to type or stamp your date of birth onto the form, please remember that USF will not accept handwritten information on lab reports. Also, this document must have the laboratory's contact information. You can see it up here at the top. And that includes street address, city, country, as well as telephone number and country code. Finally, this document must show the name of the vaccine that is being tested, such as measles, mumps, or rubella. It also must include a numeric results, as well as an interpretation of the reference range. Although the next two vaccines are optional, the state of Florida strongly recommends that students receive their hepatitis B and meningitis vaccines. To complete the hepatitis B requirements, students must show proof of 3 vaccines. The first vaccine can be received at any time in the student's life, including the day they were born. The second vaccine must be received 30 days or more after the first vaccine, and the third vaccine must be received 30 days or more after the second vaccine. Students also have the option to submit a blood titer test within 5 years of their program start date. Finally, students may formally decline these vaccines by either checking, ticking, or writing an X in this small box that you see that I'm hovering over right before the wording I have read, the information that you see, it's hyperlinked here about hepatitis B. This is the small box, not the bigger box, but the small box is where you would put that X mark, check, or tick mark. You also will have the option to electronically decline these vaccines, and we will go over how you do this in the next slide. To complete the meningitis requirement, students must show proof of a vaccine received after their 16th birthday, or they may formally decline this vaccine. Again, you see the small box here that they can put a check, tick mark, or put an X right here. To show proof of receiving this vaccine, again, your medical provider would write the month, day, year in this box for the vaccine. Let's take a look at how to electronically decline these vaccines if you want to. So if you do choose this option, we ask that you please go to www.usf.edu and log into your MyUSF account. You will then log into your OASIS account, click on Personal Information, then you will click on View Immunization Records. Once you get to this page, you will see 3 columns. The column to the third to the right, you'll see hyperlinks. You can click on each hyperlink. Once you do, you'll see a box that you will be able to check and then submit. Once you submit each checked box, you will instantaneously be approved for these declined vaccines.
Tuberculosis screening is a requirement for most non-U.S. residents and citizens who apply to USF outside of the USA. Students may learn whether they have tuberculosis requirements by going to their Student Self-Services account and then clicking on View Immunization Record. If this is a requirement for you, please note that your tuberculosis screening must be completed within 6 months prior to the semester in which you physically attend USF. For your convenience, I have included a link to the USF calendar to help you identify the start of your upcoming semester.
USF allows students to submit their tuberculosis results either via a skin test or blood tests. For the tuberculosis skin test, students may use the USF medical history form to submit their results. The medical provider will write the month, day, year when the student gets their initial injection in the box entitled Date Placed. They will then write the month, day, year in the box that's entitled Date Read when the student returns to their doctors between 48 and 72 hours after the date of their injection. Please remember that USF will not accept TB skin test results that are read before 48 hours and after 72 hours after students receive their initial injection. In the box that you see here entitled MM, measurements by millimeters, the medical provider will write or must write a single digit whole number without a decimal or a symbol in the result. They can simply write a number. They can also add MM after the number, but that should be all that they write in this box. Results like 2.5 or 0.4 will not be accepted. If the result is 2.5, the medical provider must either round up to 3 or down to 2. If, for example, the result is 0.4, the medical provider must either round up to 1 or down to 0. Also, it is much better if they, again, write a single digit number. So if it is a 1, please ask them not to write 01, but just the number 1. Please note that USF will not accept any results, again, that have symbols such as the lesser than, greater than symbols, and there must only be one results. You can see here, there are 2 results, and USF, they will not accept 2 different results. It can only be the 7 here or the 9 here, but it must not be 2 different results. This, we feel, might happen when medical providers try to measure not only the induration, the little white bump that looks like a mosquito bite. Sometimes they also try to measure the red ring, the erythema. They must only measure the width of the induration site. Students may also submit lab reports for QFT quantiferin or T-spot blood tests. Please remember that these reports must include the student's full name and date of birth, as well as the laboratory's contact information as shown on the images that you see here to the left of the screen. must also include the name of the test that's being used. Is it a T-spot or a QFT? There must be numeric results shown, as well as the interpretation of the tuberculosis response. USF is also going to want to see, is it positive or negative? That must be reflected in the interpretation. USF will only accept tuberculosis chest X-ray results after the student has submitted a positive tuberculosis blood or skin test. USF will not accept X-ray results as a first submission. Please remember, though, that X-ray results must be submitted in the form of a typed radiology report that includes the physician's name, signature, stamp, and contact information. The radiology report must also include the student's full name and date of birth. Remember, age is not going to be accepted as a substitute. Finally, this radiology report must include a narrative summary of findings, and that must give an indication of the response. Please do not send images or X-ray pictures, as USF will not accept these. We're almost at the end of the medical history form. Now in section B, the medical provider will print his or her name. You see, we've used the fictional classic literature book, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So here, Dr. Hyde has printed his name. In number 2, there must be the country code, you see +44, and the telephone number. Number 3 shows the street address, the city, and the country. This must all be included. Number 4 is the signature. That must also be included. And then the month, day, year in which the medical provider has signed. Finally, there must be a dark, clear, readable stamp on this line here. The stamp does not have to be in English. It must only be dark and readable. Please do not allow your medical provider to stamp over any of your immunization or medical results, because if USF cannot read the result on your medical history form, they will not accept that result. So please urge them, stamp on the line. If they happen to stamp too lightly, you can ask them to take that stamper, dip it in the ink pad, and stamp maybe to the right or below, but please never over any of your results. Section C of the medical history form only needs to be completed for minors or students below the age of 18. A parent or guardian simply needs to complete this by printing their name, signing their name, writing their relationship to the student. That could be father, mother, stepfather, stepmother, aunt, uncle, even grandmother, grandfather. Then they would simply write the month, day, and year that they signed this form. It's very important for all minors to get this part of the form completed. Otherwise, they will be denied medical care at the USF Health and Wellness Center. So please, guardians and parents of minors, complete this for your student. If you have any questions or need further assistance, please feel free to call the USF Health and Wellness Center. We've got the phone number here. Or you can send your questions to their jot form, and you see what the jot form looks like in the image to the right. They will respond within, I believe, 72 business hours once you send a question to the jot form, if you do use that jot form. Also, when you are ready to submit your medical history form, laboratory reports, or childhood vaccine records, please use the link featured on this slide here. And again, you will see what this upload site is going to look like. You're going to have to fill out your full name, your date of birth, your USF ID number, phone number, and this will accept international numbers, so no worries there. And then simply upload your documents and submit. If you are unable to submit a document because it's in a language other than English, please note that you can get it translated officially. However, this document must include the stamp of the translator, the signature of the translator, as well as complete contact information of the translator. And that again is street address, city, country, phone number, and country code. When you submit this information, please be sure to send the original as well as the translated document. If you are unable to get all your required immunization or medical screenings completed in your home countries, you do have the option of scheduling your appointment at the USF Health and Wellness Center in Tampa. USF Health Services will provide you with a temporary override approximately 3 to 5 business days after you submit your appointment request, and this will enable you to register for classes. You should receive confirmation via an email. It's going to look a little like this, and that's going to tell you when you need to show up. Please remember that if you do not show up on time to your appointment, you can and will be canceled from your classes. So when you get your appointment date and the time, please show up, and it's preferable that you show up at least 15 minutes earlier. And that is all for our presentation today. This is how you complete the medical history form. Thank you for your attention and wishing you all the best in completing this in a timely manner. Goodbye for now.